Morgan Stanley, these 19 stocks that could get cut in half or worse. Wichita State's Greg Marshall cuts down the nets. Harry Howe, Getty Images. Morgan Stanley has released the stocks its analysts think could lose more than half their value in the next 12-18 months. These secularly challenged stocks, as the bank calls its Wednesday report, are quite diverse, but a major portion of the list are retail chains. The industry's Morgan Stanley analysts are most bearish on spend from mall-based clothing stores like Abercrombie & Fitch and American Eagle, to big box chains like Target, and even financial services companies like Western Union. Our economics team's longtime base case of a synchronous global recovery, modest increases in inflation pressures, and a gradual removal of monetary policy accommodation has now been embraced, by and large, by the consensus. While the report is quite pessimistic, it's important to note that the possible drops are analysts' bear cases, or worst-case scenarios for the companies. To compile the list, Morgan Stanley's equity research team started with the full list of stocks its analysts rate as underweight. The bank then focused on stocks with an unfavorable risk-reward skew, looking for stocks where the cons outweighed the pros. Here are the 19 stocks Morgan Stanley says stand to lose the most from secular pressures in the next 12-18 months. Tenneco Markets Insider ticker, 10 sector, consumer discretionary, industrials downside to bear, 53.1 market cap, $3.41 billion year-to-date performance, plus 003 source, Morgan Stanley 18. BorgWarner Incorporated. Markets Insider ticker, BWA sector, consumer discretionary, industrials downside to bear, 54 market cap, $11 billion year-to-date performance, plus 28.93 source, Morgan Stanley 17. United Parcel Service Markets Insider ticker, UPS sector, transportation downside to bear, 54.1 market cap, $103.8 billion year-to-date performance, plus 303 source, Morgan Stanley 16. American Eagle Outfitters Markets Insider ticker, EO sector, retail downside to bear, 55.6 market cap, $2.39 billion year-to-date performance, minus 10.35 source, Morgan Stanley 15. Myriad Genetics Markets Insider ticker, MIN sector, healthcare downside to bear, 570 market cap, $2.41 billion year-to-date performance, plus 98.94 source, Morgan Stanley 14. Juniper Networks Markets Insider ticker, JNPR sector, technology downside to bear, 57.7 market cap, $9.90 billion year-to-date performance, minus 14.1 source, Morgan Stanley 13. CBL and Associates Properties Markets Insider ticker, CBL sector, property downside to bear, 58.3 market cap, $201 billion year-to-date performance, minus 28.39 source, Morgan Stanley 12. Waddell & Reed Financial Markets Insider ticker, WDR sector, financial downside to bear, 61.1 market cap, $1.72 billion year-to-date performance, plus 0.15 source, Morgan Stanley 11. FICC Southern Markets Insider ticker, NSC sector, transportation downside to bear, 62.3 market cap, $38.26 billion year-to-date performance, 20.28 source, Morgan Stanley 10. Imperva Markets Insider ticker, IMPV sector, technology downside to bear, 620 market cap, $1.51 billion year-to-date performance, plus 13.16 source, Morgan Stanley 9. Waddell & Reed Financial Markets Insider ticker, TEVA sector, healthcare downside to bear, 66.4 market cap, $18.76 billion year-to-date performance, minus 62.86 source, Morgan Stanley 8. American Axle & Manufacturing Holdings Markets Insider ticker, AXL sector, consumer discretionary, industrials downside to bear, 67.9 market cap, $208 billion year-to-date performance, minus 6.57 source, Morgan Stanley 7. DSW Markets Insider ticker, DSW sector, retail downside to bear, 70.6 market cap, $1.50 billion year-to-date performance, minus 0.71 source, Morgan Stanley 6. Biovertive Markets Insider ticker, BIV sector, healthcare downside to bear, 71.8 market cap, $6.52 billion year-to-date performance, 30.51 source, Morgan Stanley 5. Hawaiian Holdings Markets Insider ticker, HA sector, transportation downside to bear, 73.6 market cap, $2.18 billion year-to-date performance, minus 35.98 source, Morgan Stanley 4. Caslight Health Markets Insider ticker, CSLT sector, healthcare downside to bear, 54.1 market cap, $327.28 million year-to-date performance, minus 14.14 source, Morgan Stanley 3. Abercrombie & Fitch Markets Insider ticker, ANF sector, retail downside to bear, 85.5 market cap, $921.19 million year-to-date performance, plus 17.96 source, Morgan Stanley 2. Avis Budget Group Markets Insider ticker, car sector, consumer discretionary, industrials downside to bear, market cap, $3.41 billion year-to-date performance, plus 9.75 source, Morgan Stanley 1. GoGo Markets Insider ticker, GoGo sector, telecom services downside to bear, 90.6 market cap, $924 million year-to-date performance, plus 5.54 source, Morgan Stanley.